Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of Still Up Sports. I'm your guest. I'm your host, Cody Chapa. Welcome to Still Up Sports, where we are your exclusive source for late night Broncos sports talk. Not just Broncos, but also some other sports talk too, guys. Fumbled that intro a little bit, but here we go, guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, it's been a few days since we been live. I took a few days hiatus. Had a death in the family with a beloved family pet. He's been almost made it to 14 years. I got to know him for at least 7 of the last years, so I'm really grateful I got to know Domino. He's a very sweet boy, guys. So we're gonna just do an R.I.P. to my best pal. This is why I took a little hiatus, guys. But this is my best buddy. He just left us, a few days ago. He went to a better place, and just the last day or so, I just needed to clear my head, get a break from sports, and just really touch base and touch grass. So I'm really happy that he's not in pain anymore, and he can just enjoy the best time that he can have now in life. So I'm really happy for Domino, and I'm just grateful that he can be celebrated now. It's sad that it had to end, but at the same time, we get to enjoy the amazing almost 14 years that he got to live, and we got to enjoy the 7 years together as being best buddies. This was my best buddy, guys. Look at these amazing pics. Sweet boy. I love this awesome boy. I am grateful I got to know you, Domino. So, just wanted to start this show out, with a little in memoriam to someone that means a lot to me, guys. It's never easy to lose a friend, and it's never easy to lose someone that just means so much to you. So I'm always thinking of Domino, and he's always going to be with us. That's enough of that before, it gets too emotional, guys. But just wanted to say, this is why I may have taken a little break. And, we're here to just talk sports and all that, but sometimes things are bigger in this world, and the last few days this was what was biggest in my world. So I'm sorry for the break, guys, but here I am, and we are back. So we're gonna miss you, Domino. Thank you for the amazing time, buddy. Thank you for being with us, and you're forever with us. You're not gone. So thank you, Domino. All right, guys, so we're going to jump back over here, and we're going to get into what we're going to talk about with the show. So one thing I wanted to let you guys know is we got a few topics going on today. There's a few things, Sean Payton, wow, 5-year deal. He's going to be around with George Payton until 2030. So, that's awesome. Davis Webb spoke for the first time. That's exciting. What do you say? Maybe is it exciting? Maybe maybe it isn't. We'll find out. Got some fun topics there. And then I'm really excited to, discuss a few other things that we got going on with the channel, guys. We're going to go into the running back room, of course. I did mention that. We are going to keep our position deep dive. We're going to keep going into our position room deep dive into training camp. So we got the running backs tonight, guys. Running backs are on the docket for tonight for the running back room. Besides that, guys, we got a few other things we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss Henry Ruggs and his parole, and then Jonathan Cooper. There's a few developments in the Jonathan Cooper thing that happened a few hours ago. So I think I can be one of the first few to really discuss it. So we're going to talk the Jonathan Cooper thing. It's really escalated a little more. So it might have a bigger impact going further. So it's sad that we got to talk about that stuff, but at the same time, we may be one of the first ones to at least try to discuss that. So, that's what's on our plan tonight. We got some Q&A as well, so if you're going to drop into the chat, feel free to drop in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for being here with me. Like, subscribe, comment. It really helps the algorithm when you do all of those. If you do any of them, it really helps, and it means a lot to me, guys. So feel free to do that for me, and it really means a lot. I'm repping the Greek Goonsville right now. The Greek Festival just happened in Denver. It's been really busy for Goonsville out there. So I just wanted to support the best I can. So I'm wearing both right here, guys. Take a look at that beautiful Greek flag. So thank you, Petros, for being so supportive for all you do, man. Petros, you are very supportive and you're like a brother to me. And I appreciate all you put up, with just by being my friend and by, supporting me. And I am grateful for that, man. All right, guys. So we're going to get into that first topic about Sean Payton get paid. That says quite a bit, about what this ownership thinks about him, and also says that, he's still got it in him. Coach has got some energy to coach, guys. He does not want to stop. I don't think he wants to stop unless he wins a ring. And if he gets close, he's probably going to want to keep swinging until he can get it. So with Coach, we really do hope that we can get him this ring in his time with us, because he's done a lot for this team. We went from a horrible team that was just going through a QB carousel, not even sniffing the playoffs, to winning 8 games, to winning 10 games and making a wild card appearance, and then to winning 14 games and winning your division and making it to the AFC Championship game and being this close, guys. So, Sean Payton, no doubt deserving of this contract. If anyone's talking bad about this, there's a few people out there that I don't know why they are not too excited about this. Why would you not be excited about your coach coming back, the man that has gotten you further and further each year? We've gotten further and further each year. How much further can we go? Can he get us there? I'd rather take my chances with him than there's only 1 or 2 real coaches, maybe 3 out there that you could maybe even try to say that you would like to put in that discussion next to Sean. But I really want to take the man that's going and getting this team deeper and deeper and deeper each year. And with year 4, really excited, really pumped for year 4 with Sean, let alone, Davis stepping up as offensive coordinator, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, but that's just exciting. Davis had high praise for Sean, and I think Sean had some complimentary praise of him as well. I just wanted to say, guys, that, I'm grateful for you being here. Thank you, everyone, popping in the chat. Thank you for the questions. Let's see. I think Mahomes, so one question in the chat, from my mother. She's got a question about Mahomes, if he's going to be ready for the season. And I think they're going to have him out there week 1. You got Denver coming to town. You want to get that win early, because who knows what kind of ramifications might be available when it comes down towards playoff seeding and how that stuff goes. So I think they're going to have Mahomes out there week 1, no matter what. And that's why I say send, the house, go after him. I really want to see the kind of game that these guys are going to have months to prepare for Mahomes. I really think they're going to come in and they're going to shock the Chiefs week 1, and they're going to, in Arrowhead, I think they're going to shock a lot of people. And I still have them going 4-2 in their first 6. I still have them beating the Rams, and I still have the Super Bowl matchup being the Rams. That has been my matchup since the beginning of the season when we talked about the schedule. And I still have the Rams and the Broncos, guys. But Sean Payton, man, very deserving of this deal. You can't deny the work that he has done with this team. And, he was the one that brought in Vance, guys. So to an extent, you can even give Sean Payton a little bit of credit for what he has done with the defense, because he brought in the perfect guy to make this defense work. And some people were a little worried about the Vance hire at first. Some people didn't like it. Some did. I loved it, and I think that it's been nothing but great. Vance even spoke recently, or today, I believe, and he was talking about how he just wants to stay in Denver. He's focused on making this defense the best thing it can be. I know he wants to be a head coach, but Vance also wants to make this defense even better than last year. So maybe we get Vance for another year or so. We'll see. But Vance deserves to be a head coach. Who knows what's going to happen with Davis Webb in the future? But what matters is you have the stability of Sean Payton running everything at the top, at the helm of this ship, guys. All right, we're going to flip the camera a little bit. I did not adjust the camera before the stream. I got the light, the mics, everything set up, but I did not set anything up in terms of, I did not move the camera. So let me move the camera so you can see the cats. Okay, so there's one. Oh, really? Wow. All right, well, we'll just leave this right here, guys. We'll leave this right here, and we'll see if a cat shows up. And by the way, guys, yesterday, happy birthday to Benny Fowler. You know, Peyton Manning's last pass. You know, Peyton Manning, congratulations to giving Benny Fowler that final pass, because Benny is a legend, and if there's any person that deserves that, you know, moniker and being able to claim that as, you know, the man who caught Peyton Manning's last pass, Benny Fowler is the best person to be able to do that, because he's so kind, so generous, so sweet, awesome guy, and happy birthday, Benny, you know, from the Chapa family, you know, happy birthday, Benny. Yeah, we will be getting into Henry Ruggs at one point. It's not really like big talking point for some people out there. Not even like the national sports media, I think, is really talking about it. But to me, as a Vegas local, I feel it's something we got to touch on because one, it happened in Vegas, and two, he was a Raider. But yes, Henry Ruggs was denied parole, guys. I may have gotten off on this Henry Ruggs thing, you know, once or twice on other streams, and maybe that was my fault. You know, I'm just not a fan of, you know, some of these athletes, guys, just, you know, or some of these people just being irresponsible, and, you know, there's still a genuine person that lost their life over that, so that's why that hits me a little bit. And this is in Vegas, you know. I wish celebrities would be more responsible when they're going out in the town, going hitting the tables, when they're going to Top Golf, when they're having a few drinks, you know. I just wish some people would be more responsible because there's average, normal day, everyday people just trying to live their life, and your actions can impact someone else. Yes, happy birthday to Benny in the chat. That's awesome. If anyone has any comments, questions, you know, feel free to drop them in the chat after. I really do appreciate it, guys. So, you know, again, back on Sean Payton for a little bit. Sean Payton deserves a steal. He's the man that no matter who you lose at OC, who you lose at DC, he's probably going to build a great staff and put one that's going to be championship contending. So I'm not worried if Vance leaves, if in fact we lose Davis Webb at one point. I do think that Sean Payton is the best guy to build a staff to out of some of these coaches out there. So I really do like it. And I like that some of these younger guys on the staff that are really developing. You got Zach Strief, the offensive the O-line coach. You know, Zach Strief is really growing into a favorite. Maybe Logan Kilgore. You know, you got those two guys that may be possible future OCs if you lose Davis Webb at one point. But Davis also made a little, you know, when he spoke, and we're going to get into what Davis said, because I did see Davis's little interview with his media scrum, and with that media scrum, there was a few things he did say, and with that scrum, he did say something about along the lines of he wants to be in Denver a minute, and some of that was along the lines of that praise he was heaping towards Sean, as Sean was heaping some back too. So I think there's a lot to be excited with Davis as OC, but in no way should anyone forget that this is Sean Payton's team. Sean Payton has coached this team up to more wins and to more accolades every year and to deeper playoff berths each year. So, you know, all you got to know is that we were knocking on the Super Bowl last year, and Sean Payton probably thinks that this is the year to push us over. If not, he thinks he can get it done in these next 5 years no matter what. So to have his commitment, that's a big deal, guys. So just big shout out to Sean Payton. We should be grateful for that. Absolutely, guys. You know, accountability is something that's for every person. You know, rich, poor, famous or, you know, not famous. Accountability is something that everyone needs. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. If you're watching this after fact, guys, I really do like this. Do like, share and comment. That all really does help. And as we are talking about the Sean Payton stuff, I am going to jump over to some of these. We're going to screen capture, and we're going to jump over here. We're at 76 subs, guys. We did go down one, but that's okay. We're going to go down some, and we're going to have to gain some more. So if you know anyone that maybe in the late night sports, might want to just talk sports late at night, come here, drop by, subscribe. It will really help. Okay, guys, you can hear the dogs barking. My dog and then the neighbor's dogs. All right, guys, sorry about that. That dog can really bark, guys. He's got a set of pipes on him. Ooh. Yeah, guys, the dog's a little barky. Sorry about that. But yeah, so here on YouTube, we're at 76. We may have lost one, but that's okay. Come check us out. This was my little birthday post to Benny Fowler. This is the jersey you see right up here. This is the jersey you see up there. So at least you get to see an up-close look at what one of my set pieces is, but also one of my most prized possessions. My Benny Fowler and my Todd Davis jersey, besides some of my Goonsville, my prized possessions, guys. Yeah, look at this. So this was when I got to meet Benny, at the DMVR meet and greet. I'm going to be in Denver for that, Chiefs game. So I do hope to be at the, DMVR tailgate again, because there's vibes up there, guys. Best vibes, best tailgate around Empower. And see, there it is right now. So, at least what it looks like right now. It's right up there. So there it is, guys. So yeah, big happy birthday to Benny. Feel free to drop your 16s in the chat or in the comments after, guys. Happy birthday to Benny Fowler. And then, yes, here we go, guys. This is the post I made. We are talking about Sean Payton. And, let me know in the comments if you think that bringing back Sean Payton long-term was the move, or if you think that maybe down the line you should have offered the job to someone else. But either way, I'm really pumped about it. I think it's a good, smart move. You're getting ahead of it, and obviously cap doesn't matter in this situation. You can just pay this guy whatever you want. So he's probably got paid healthy, and it's probably nice. So nice to be Sean Payton. It's nice to have all these Nike deals and be the flyest man in the room with the best sneakers whenever he walks in. So awesome to be Sean Payton. But yeah, guys. So feel free to come over to the YouTube if you're watching this right now. Go hit that like and subscribe, guys. Hit the notification, because that will let you know if I go live. And even if you missed the show after fact, you still have the notification, so you can go back and watch it after the fact, guys. And I'd like to hear what your feedback is on stuff, so I can, whether your questions or whatever it is, I love your feedback. As we continue to talk about Sean, we're going to check out the Twitter page. Here we are, 87 followers. Let's try to get to 100, guys. It would be so sick if we can do that. Mile High Mike, and Cameron Parker, they just went live not long ago, a few hours ago. Well, maybe 6-7 hours ago. But, yeah, guys, so, yeah, I was literally rushing home, and I was trying to get here as fast as possible so I can go live. So here we are. Happy to be live with you guys. Happy that you're here with me. This is the only late night sports talk show. No one is up right now. So if you're up with me, thank you for being up with me. If you're not up with me, you can watch this after the fact if you want. Either way, guys, I'm just grateful for all the support that I've had. I've had a lot of people that also offered condolences on Domino, and that just means the world to me. So thank you, everyone who's been so supportive and so helpful. Yeah, go check out Mile High Mike, guys. Total legend. Or is it James Gunn? He really looks like James Gunn, guys. I bet he knows who the next Batman is. He probably does. He just won't tell me until I reach 100 subscribers on YouTube. Once I reach 100 subscribers on YouTube, I'm sure Mike will let me know who the next Batman is. But yeah, these two are awesome. All right. TikTok, guys, 26. We're not even moving up on TikTok, but it's hard on there for me, I guess. So I do neglect TikTok just a pinch more. And sometimes it's weird because I'm trying to rattle off posts on, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and then sometimes I forget to do it on TikTok. So sometimes I lag on TikTok, and I'm going to do my best not to do that. Because I took a few days off, and my whole week was all thrown off with a lot of stuff with the family stuff and the dog. I took a break from really getting StreamYard set up, so I should be set up on StreamYard pretty soon. But I just really needed that reset based off of losing Domino, because that was a big part of my life. I would go see him every day for at least 2 hours. He was my sister's dog, and I would go over there every day for about 2-3 hours at times, and I would just walk him, hang out with him, whether we play with the water in the hose or we just do whatever. But I would always go see him, so it was a big part of my routine. And so, with all that, I needed to step away. So that's why I have not really gotten the StreamYard stuff set up, but I'll be over there fast enough, guys. Also, one thing, big proud of a lot of you guys, but after making a post or two on X, we were able to get someone all the way over there to go subscribe to Broncos Europe. So Broncos Europe's not pulled up right now on the YouTube page right now, but just know that Broncos Europe is at 101. We got them to 101. We really pushed and got the word out there. I know, the last few streams I've been trying to get some of these guys some of the attention. They deserve it. You got to love and everything about growing the fan base overseas. And I would love to know what they think about the Sean Payton deal. I would love to know what Mark thinks about this Sean Payton deal. It would be pretty awesome to know what he's thinking. All right, guys. One other thing, Instagram. All right, 101, pretty nice. A few of those are bots for sure. So I might go clean some of that out and get rid of a few of them. But even after cleaning them with bots, I know that we got to be pushing like 80, 85. So either way, I'm pretty grateful for all you guys popping around on all of them and subscribing on all these pages and following on all these pages. But yeah, check out the Instagram as well. We, as I have said before, we're on 4 platforms right now. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we are on TikTok, and we're on Instagram. So, come check us out. It really means a lot for any of the support on any of these platforms, guys. Let's see. All right. We are gonna jump back onto this screen, guys. All right. So, if there's anything else with the Sean Payton, deal and the Sean Payton signing, let me know that if there's anything on your guys' mind, because I am pretty happy to have Sean, coming back. Sean's a big deal on why this team is competitive and why we have gotten to where we are. So nothing but grateful to have you back, SP. Sean Payton 2000, whatever you want to call him. Big Mac Daddy Sean. Sean Payton is the man. I'm not messing with him. The man knows what he's doing. He's gonna be a great resource for Davis. And this is the Sean Payton offense, guys. There's just gonna be some tweaks, and it's gonna make Davis is gonna take this offense and make it his. So just even if there is, even if they end up come out a little slow at the gate, I'm not even worried. I really trust that this team is in great hands. This team and this ownership. And this GM, Sean Payton talked about it as well, the trifecta. You have that great triangle. It's awesome. So I'm really excited to see Sean Payton as he settles in this team for another few years. It'd be great to see him win a ring, man. Imagine if he can go into the Hall of Fame with a ring, with the Saints, with the Broncos for long, like over 10 years plus with each team. Pretty wild. That'd be cool. Total legend. And in my opinion, forever better than Andy Reid, bro. I like Andy Reid, but I really appreciate everything that Sean's done. I hear about how Sean talks about Sean's players, former players of Sean's talk about him, and the way that former players of Sean talk about him is not the same as how former Andy Reid players talk about Andy Reid. Sean players have just a different vibe or enthusiasm about it. So really excited to see Sean Payton as he settles in with this team for another few more years. But also, let's get this man his ring, Because if we can get him this ring, I bet you no matter what, he's fulfilling that 5 years. So let's get him that ring, and let's see if we can create a little dynasty, guys. You know, the national media is not going to take the Broncos serious, even if they win one ring. I'm sorry to tell you it, guys. Even if the Broncos win one ring, they're not going to be taken seriously because people are going to say it's a fluke. Look at some of these, people poke holes in the Seahawks, and they're deservingly the Super Bowl champions, but people poke holes in their season and how stuff worked out for them still. And I mean, me personally, I have my gripes about, Sam Darnold performing the same way in year 2, but I also do not worry about it either. My point is that I really do think this team is set up to succeed. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it plays out for Sean. We can only be grateful, though. Out of all the head coaches we've had in the last 20 years, the man has been the most consistent and brought the most success in such a fast pace. And so I'm big on, I support the Packers for a lot of reasons, especially because half my family are Packer fans. But in terms of when I saw QB rankings out there and people were putting Jordan Love above Bo Nix, I'm sorry. It just does not make sense. Has Jordan Love gotten to the NFC Championship? He has been in the league a year or two longer than Bo. And Bo has gotten deeper in the playoffs much faster. And Bo has consistently gotten better each year. Jordan Love has at times gone stalemate, guys. So that's what that's my point. I'm just saying that there's a lot with these teams, a lot with these Broncos. I really do think that, Sean Payton has played a factor in Bo's growth, too, so can't deny that. Yes. Yep. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, so excited for Sean Payton. Let's get this guy's ring. I think this team can really go deep. I really do believe that these Broncos are in a position to, even if they lose a game more or 2 games more, they're still in a great position. Even if they don't have as many sacks as last year, but they get a few more takeaways, that's a win. And just with the Jalen Waddle guys, Waddle's let's just put aside the passing game. Passing game is going to be crazy, and from how it feels with Waddle, it's gonna be a different notch because the speed is. Everyone says the speed looks different out there. They say the speed with Waddle on the field at training camp. They say it just looks unreal. They say it looks completely different than what we've had these last few years, and that's big. And yes, there's going to be a great rotation at wide receiver, but I'm really excited to see what they do with this running game. Because if this running game can, because the passing game was pretty cool last year, and we know that it can be better, but it was still the stronger of the two with the running game and the passing game, at least especially after we lost JK. When we lost JK, that's when this team really took a step back in the rushing department. I kind of expected both this offense, rushing and offensively, to be better. I can't tell you which one's going to be more dominant, but you would hope that it's the run game. And there's a lot of excitement, because as we're going to transition, so as I was saying, we're going to segue into our next discussion point, our next talking point, these Broncos running backs, guys. We will jump over to Spot Track on my other one so we can just stare at the Broncos running backs and see what they're being paid and stuff. And I personally think that when you do your running backs, you're including a fullback in that group. And that fullback is the tricky question. Who's that going to be? Some people think that you don't need Prentice and that it could be one of your tight ends can do the job. I saw someone on, I think it was Twitter the other day, saying that Prentice is unneeded when you have fullbacks tight ends that can do both, and that they can fill the role of fullback and tight end at the same time. Maybe that's possible. I'm still big on Adam Prentice. I loved him. I loved what he did coming in towards the end of the season. I was at the Bronco-Raider game. Pretty sure he had a solid run in that game. It was pretty exciting. I have to double-check, but I'm pretty sure he did have a good game in that Bronco-Raider game here in Vegas. But, no, I'm excited for Adam Prentice. So here, we're going to jump over here, and you guys can take a look with me. All right, so we're on Spot Track. You guys can take a look at the running backs right there. No, that's not me. My last name is not Strader. How many yards do I think I can get with the Broncos offensive line, bro? I truly think I can get 2 yards. People always talk about this stuff, saying if an average person can get 1 yard, with a good NFL offensive line, I think I could get 2, bro. I'm going to honor that offensive line, bro. I'm going to make sure that they feel rewarded. I'm going to make sure that I get an extra yard. Maybe I can find a DB coming up close and lay a boom. I don't know. Probably not, guys. My point is that is not me. Even though I wish it was, I would love to be a Broncos running back, guys. All right, so with this running back discussion, and that was a great discussion on Sean Payton, guys. Let me know real quick how you felt about that Sean Payton discussion in the comments. Let me know about Sean Payton, how you feel about Sean Payton, guys. After the fact, tell me how you feel about Sean getting this deal. What do you think it means for this team for the next 5 years going into 2030, honestly? Him and George Payton paired together. Great duo. These two are going to kill it. They draft well together. They're like a yin and yang. They honestly bounce off each other really well. And I like the vibe they have with each other. And then also, let me say one more thing real quick on the Sean Payton. Then he did say that there was that triangle, that trifecta. I want to say that one more time. It's just a coach, GM, and owner, and that's obvious. We've seen it take place. We have seen our coach do everything he can to make this team better, from great coaching hires to pretty solid moves with how to make this team work for the most part. He have made at times some boneheaded play calls, maybe one too many screens. Oh, boo-hoo, but in my opinion, I think that, Sean Payton has done everything he can to make this team better, and it shows. His record shows, going from 8 wins to 10 wins and a wild card playoff, from 10 wins and a wild card playoff to 14 wins and winning your division and making the AFC Championship. Don't get me started, guys. So Sean Payton is doing great. In terms of George Payton, yes, people want to give him crap for the Russ signing, just like they want to give the owners crap for the Russ signing. Big deal. It happened. You got to swing. In this league, you got to swing if you want to even succeed. If you don't swing, you're going to end up like these other teams, not trying to take shots, but like, the Browns. You're going to end up in 20-plus years of decades of, not 20-plus years, not 20 decades. But you know what I mean, guys. You're going to end up in a long rut. And you don't want to end up in a rut in this league, because then that just doesn't help your team win. All right, do I got anything else real quick on Sean Payton? Nope. All right, guys. That's all I got on Sean Payton, but we'll probably touch on him a little bit when we get into the Davis Webb talk. But we're going running back real quick, and then we're going to take a quick ad break. So, guys, here we are. You got the running backs up on the screen. Who do you think is going to be, who makes this roster? How many running backs do they carry, guys? I mean, I really do believe that you got 5. One of them being your fullback. So one of them's Prentice. And here it is. I'm going to name it all off for you right now. Prentice counts as your fullback. You got Dobbins, Harvey. You got Coleman. And then I think it comes down. I don't know about Cody Schrader, guys. Maybe he goes off in the preseason and we learn some more. I've heard good things about him. I've heard some excitement from a few people out there in the Broncos media world talking about Cody Schrader, but I don't know. He's an unknown. So because of he's unknown, I don't think I know enough to talk about him. So that's why we will talk about 2 guys Broncos country knows a lot about, and this is where the discussion comes in, because I think you keep 5, and the discussion to me comes into which one of these 2 are you getting? And Jaleel, bro. Jaleel looks like he's really bulked up. Sean loves Tyler. Everyone knows that. Sean loves Tyler Bidet. But And we saw Tyler Bidet come in handy on third down at times last year, guys. And you can't deny that he was very, very useful. Me personally, I lean in towards Jaleel McLaughlin. Who do you think has a better chance to make this team and be that like fourth running back? Because if we're counting five, and one of them's a fullback. So if we're not counting the fullback, if you're counting four running backs, is it Jaleel McLaughlin? Do you go three? Do you go four? And do you just run it with J.K., R.J., and Coleman, and you just put one of these two, whether it's Tyler or Jaleel, on the practice squad? Who knows? But I like how Jaleel has bulked up, and I like that. I like the idea of keeping Jaleel around long term, and not long term, but at least just keeping him around for the year. I really like that. Even though towards the end of the year and in third downs, it really became like Bidet season last year. I think Jaleel is in for a solid year. Looking at how he's bulked up, I think he wants to be used for whenever he could be, whether it's blocking, whether it's anything. I think he wants to show that he can be at least a good third down back and really push for that spot against Tyler. So, me personally, I'm leaning in towards Jaleel over Tyler. Some people don't even have that many backs, though. Some people are just running with J.K., R.J., and Jonah, and then the fullback. And that's fair. That's very fair if you want to run the hell out of them, guys. I like the idea of just keeping another back on the roster, too. But sometimes we've talked about it as we do these position group deep dives. You're going to have to sacrifice that with some of these positions. When we talked about tight ends, I also think I said five. You can't just go five in some of these positions. So sometimes you got to cut on one of them. You got your DBs. You got some deep. In the corner. How many corners you keeping. You got a lot of questions with this team, and how many you can keep. And that's just a testament to George Payton, as I was saying about George Payton, and then this ownership. Is that George Payton has been able to create a roster that is uber deep, guys. This roster is crazy deep. You can go look through it on most of these position groups. You got a lot of guys that are in depth roles that could be starting all over the league. So I really think that George Payton has built a really competitive team. Can't deny that. And on the owners, the owners have just done everything. You can't deny that they've done everything. They've spent it. Every little dime. Money isn't a factor, so the owners have been great. But George Payton has put together a great team that's incredibly deep, guys. So when you're having these discussions about these position groups, and you're talking about who to keep, who not to keep, man, they are so deep. And a lot of these guys, if you get rid of them or cut them, you may be ready to see them succeed on some other teams, and that is never fun. So I definitely think that. Me personally, I have J.K., R.J., Jonah, and Jaleel, with the fifth being technically your fullback. I talked tight ends a few weeks ago, guys, and with the tight ends, I did have like Loner making the roster. I don't think so anymore. I think they're going to squeeze Loner onto the practice squad. He's done nothing in the league still. I think you can probably squeeze him onto the practice squad for another year or two, if you really want to. I think you can just keep developing. I know you want him to see some growth, but I think this guy could be just a practice squad guy and just develop him long term. There's been other teams in the league to take that basketball player mold and just keep him on the team for years and develop him. So I think the Colts have done that. A few other teams have done that with some of these basketball players. So I'm not really putting pressure on Caleb Lohner like some people are. I think Caleb Lohner can be a practice squad guy, and you can roll with four. Troutman, Ingram, Troutman, Jolly, and Bentley. Unless you guys are really, really hooked on Adkins and Kroll. But I'm not really locked in or in love with Kroll or Adkins. I saw that those signings pissed people off, in the off season. I thought that I get that they can help compete for camp. You need the depth for all that. I thought that you could have maybe still done better in replacing those guys and trying to bring in some deeper competition. But sometimes it's better to just for this stuff keep what you have in the house. And they were obviously 1-year deals, guys, so it's not like there's anything there to worry about. But in terms of the tight end room, guys, real quick, I know we're talking running backs, but as when I was this, just because we're talking about like some of these position groups, you're gonna have to skimp to fit some extra guys in, guys. You're gonna have to skimp to get some of these guys with you, and one thing is that you're gonna want to not overdo it or underdo it at some of these positions, because it can really screw you in the future or during the season if you don't do it right. And I'm not worried about them and if they're going to do it right or if they're not going to do it right. That's not the discussion. It's just more about how many of them you want to keep. And when we talk these running backs, guys, I'm just really confident in that JK, I can't guarantee that he's going to have a healthy year. There's nothing pointing towards that. Everything's pointing towards the opposite, that he'll get banged up at one point. But I truly think that JK is going to have one of his best and most impressive years still. I think JK is in for a year that's going to shock us. And I think if you workload him well, workload, you think about that word, guys. You got Jonah Coleman. I would love to see Jonah get some early starts and JK come in on like third down in the beginning, and RJ be running back too, just all the time. Because RJ can he can go for 1,000 all-purpose yards no matter what. The man is a receiving nightmare. He can be a matchup nightmare. I'm waiting for the RJ Harvey passing touchdown. Everyone knows that he was a quarterback in college. I'm waiting for the RJ Harvey passing touchdown, guys. Love it. That's what I would love to see. But honestly, guys, besides that, I really do think that RJ's in for a big year. I think that RJ can really be your matchup maker because you look at what you got on the outside. The outside's going to be a nightmare for those outside DBs and those safeties. That's already a mess for them. And then just imagine if Evan Ingram or one of these tight ends can just give you a little bump in production. You already have a monster, a three-headed monster at running back now. You got not a three-headed monster at wide receiver. You got like a 5-6-headed receiver monster at wide receiver. I think you keep only 5 at wide receiver too, and that's obvious who those guys are. But my point is, guys, is that with RJ, I think he's in for a bigger year than last year. I think he's going to really be like that, gadget guy. And he can throw passes. The man was a quarterback. So and RJ's incredibly smart. He's incredibly smart, guys. RJ can do a lot with, he has that quarterback background. I think that can't just help, but and he's only been playing running back for like 3 years or something. So with RJ, just RJ's going to have a big year. Just the fact that he's played in the position for another year. But I really think that quarterback background has helped a lot of players in the league before, where when you play quarterback and you just know where everyone is and how this stuff works, maybe just whether it's digesting playbooks or just knowing where guys are every time, you just know how this stuff goes. And I love seeing former quarterbacks develop at other positions. That does not mean you should be forcing quarterbacks to play other positions just because you think they're athletic enough. Throw back to the whole Lamar Jackson debate. Lamar was never supposed to be a wide receiver. Some people wanted him to be, but he never should have been, and look at where he is at now. I'm glad he never did. I'm glad that he never gave in to that peer pressure or that bull crap that they wanted him to do. All right, sorry, guys. Oh, we do have a cat, guys. We have a cat. First cat of the stream, guys. The other one jumped off earlier. Let's see if I can catch her on the screen. Here you go, guys. We're going to move the screen for the cat. Come on, Huxley. There you go. All right, guys. You see her right down there. All right. You can see her ears. Ears. Yes, sweet little girl, guys. She's a great cat. Very sweet. She loves to just hang out. She loves to stream. She loves the attention. She loves the pets. So, go ahead and pet the kitty through the screen. Good kitty. Good kitty, yes. She's a very sweet lady, guys. I wish you could hear her purr. She's very sweet. Let's see. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so that was her take. She also thinks that RJ is going to just be a menace, guys. But yeah, no, I think that you can really. I would like to see, them run Jonah a little early, while also, workloading JK, especially early in these, maybe in one or two of those early beginning games. That's the time to really mess around. I would like to see you workload JK, but just, I would like to see Jonah get some solid reps in the beginning. I'm not saying slow JK down that much, but get Jonah involved and really take advantage of your mismatches that you can have, guys, with JK. I mean, with RJ. RJ presents so many mismatches. So I just love what you have in that room. But I think you have five with four backs and a fullback. So fullback being Prentice, and then I think that you're fullback being Prentice, and then I think besides that, you got your running backs is Coleman, RJ, JK, and Jaleel. Those are my choices, guys. Let me know who your choices are in the comments and the chats. I would love to know who you're thinking about with this running back room. Again, it's incredibly deep, guys. Sean Payton and George Payton built a crazy deep room. And no matter what you say about this whole, is JK going to stay healthy thing, it doesn't even feel like it matters. It doesn't feel like it matters because at least you're like, they're deep enough. They got enough to make it work. It feels like they got nothing but enough to make it work. Even if something were to happen, knock on wood, we don't want nothing to happen to JK. We love JK. We're big J.K. Dobbins fans over here. A lot of love for J.K. Dobbins. I think that he was on his way to being one of the... I would love to see if he could make like the top 100 for some of these players because I really think, guys, that he could be a top, like, I think he's a top 100 player maybe. He is a top back when he's healthy. That's always the question with JK. But I think that he's in for a good year. But I also think that his good year, even though I think he might be better than last year, it's possible that he takes a production drop, but maybe he stays healthier a little longer because he's getting a little less snaps. Who knows? That's some excitement there, though, with that running back room. I really love this running back room. I love the possibilities. I want to see the trick plays, and I want to see RJ throw a touchdown to JK. Or like RJ throw a touchdown to, Jalen Waddle or something. That'd be cool. It'd be awesome, guys. Yeah, guys. So if you are watching, feel free to like, subscribe, comment. If you're watching after the fact, same thing, guys. I would love to hear your take on all these discussions. Because we did dive into Sean Payton and his 5-year deal. Amazing. Very smart. You want to get ahead of that early, so that's awesome. We just dove into the running backs, and I did enjoy the running back discussion. It's kind of nice to talk about some of these backs and really get to think about like what may happen, how it might pan out. But how many of them do you think they need? Do you think they need to keep that many? Do you think you just need to keep 3 and a fullback? What do you think? I think you need to keep 4 and a fullback, but I don't know. You just let me think on what you think about that, guys. All right, guys. So we're going to take a quick little step over here. And we're going to take a look at Goonsville, guys. So you see me rocking the Goonsville right now. We love Goonsville. Goonsville's awesome. We're just trying to look clean while also owning our craft. If you want to support some awesome people, you want to support another Bronco fan, another diehard, sports lover, go check out Petros. Go check out Goonsville. They got some great stuff going on. I love seeing the work that Petros puts out. Love seeing the stuff that Goonsville does. Love the Greek Festival stuff that just happened. I wish I could have went, but I'm definitely gonna hit up the Greek Festival here just so I can rep my Greek gear, and so I can try to get that vibe, because I would love to try the food, love to try the drinks, love to listen to the music, love to go check out the dancing, all that stuff. I would love to go check it out. I wish I could have been there. I would have loved to push the Ville, man. I would have offered myself up to help sling the merch. So go check out Goonsville, guys. Very happy to rep the Ville. Always feel awesome when I'm repping the Ville. Goonsville's got our back. We got Goonsville's back. Here, go check them out, guys. They're always doing so much cool stuff with Goonsville. Like, it's straight hype and straight fire with Goonsville all the time, man. You never know who may be caught wearing Goonsville, guys. You got fighting champions. Sometimes you got sports commentators. Sometimes you got athletes. You never who may be wearing Goonsville. You never know where Goonsville is, guys. So keep an eye out for it too. If you see it out there in the wild, you gotta take a picture of it and tag Petros. But like, you see the Goonsville popping up everywhere, man. Goonsville's awesome. Nothing but love to Goonsville. Nothing but love to these awesome people that love to push their brand, love to own their craft. We love to support people that own their craft, because that's what we're trying to do here, guys. We are the exclusives, late night Broncos sports talk. If you want to talk Broncos or sports, we are the only ones live at night, guys. We are exclusive. So come check us out. All right, guys. So we are going to jump over and maybe take a quick discussion or a little jump into this. Let me see. We do have 2 more discussion points, guys. One of them being Davis Webb, and all the stuff he said. There's a lot of questions that came to him. Davis just spoke, today for like the first time to the media. So I know a lot of us are pretty excited about the whole Davis Webb thing. So we will get into Davis Webb in a second. All right. So now that we're back over here, guys, let's all waddle. I'm ready to waddle. Waddle is him, guys. One thing I will say is that with Jalen Waddle, again, as long as everything goes right with him, he should easily be a 1,000-yard receiver. He was a 1,000-yard receiver for like 3 years in a row, and he had a bad year. As we get into this Davis Webb discussion, like, you got Davis Webb comparing him to Stephon Diggs. That's awesome. If Jalen Waddle can be what Stephon Diggs was in like that 2020, 2021 year, that's awesome. That's what you want from Jalen Waddle, because that's a legit wide receiver 1. And you already got a wide receiver 1 on the other side. Because no matter what, Cortland could be wide receiver 1 on many other teams, guys. This is what I was saying about this team is crazy deep, because you got guys that are in, your number 2 position who are easily number 1s on other teams. You got guys at number 3 who at times, maybe a few of them could also be starters on other teams. So you're very deep, guys. Incredibly deep in a lot of these positions. Whether you're talking edge, whether you're talking about, running back, whether you're talking about, some of these other positions like wide receiver or corner, you're so deep. And at wide receiver, just so excited. So excited to see what kind of matchups we can get with him. But if he can be anything like Davis Webb was saying, and here we are transitioning to the Davis Webb talk, guys. So we just gave Goonsville a shout out. Much love to Goonsville. As we get into this Davis Webb talk, that was a great way to work our way into it and transition into it, guys, because he really was excited and complimentary of Waddle. He was saying that he had some good years when he was in Buffalo, and that he really reminds him of Diggs, and the potential's there apparently. So that's awesome. And imagine if we had a Stephon Diggs type, number 1 across from Cortland all these years. Imagine the matchups, guys. I think this whole offense is a matchup nightmare just because of who you're sending out there. And then just out of that, who knows what kind of trickery Davis will get up to? Who knows what kind of how? I'm sure you're going to see a lot of similar concepts and formations and stuff like that. But you also are probably going to see a lot of. You would see a lot of very niche, oh, that's different. That's what I'm expecting. I think you're going to see Davis, add his, his mark to this offense, and it may each game you see a little bit more of it each time. Yeah, she agrees. I agree. I agree with you, sweetheart. She knows ball. She really does know ball, guys. I don't argue with her because she knows ball. And when you know ball, why argue with someone like that? So why would she argue with me? She knows more ball than me. But yeah, guys, no, Davis Webb, guys, very complimentary of Jalen Waddle. One other thing, when he said he was asked about, when he got the deal and stuff, and he said that, when he got it, he immediately just said yes because he wants to be a part of this team for so long. He's excited, and that's another topic. But he's excited to be with Sean Payton. He's excited to learn from Sean Payton. It doesn't seem like he is. I mean, that deal happened right at the beginning of practice with Sean. So when you have this conversation of Davis Webb, talking about, heaping some praise on Sean, that just shows you like he's just happy to learn from Sean this next year or two. Who knows what's in Davis's future, just like who knows what's in Vance's future, guys. But Sean has really made his mark again. Another reason why he's deserving of this deal is because you got this young, exciting, hotshot OC. And he was not greedy enough to hold on. I mean, he did not have the greed in him to hold on to the spot and just, not give him the shot. Well, he actually stepped aside. He is giving Davis the shot. He gave Davis play calling, and he knew that Davis knew that being a play caller under Sean Payton could be a very unique experience, very unique chance to grow, guys. Very different from some of what these other OCs go through in the league. Some of them do not end up with one of the best play callers in history above them as the head coach. So because of that, you're able to just sit there and, when you need the little bit of, hey, what's up with this? Or can I get a little help with this? It's there. And I'm really excited to see the Sean Payton offense with the Davis Webb flair, guys. The Davis Webb flair is going to take this thing up a notch. So I'm really excited about that, guys. Really excited to see everything that Davis Webb is up to. He definitely did not want to leave. He loves the city. He loves everything. Can't deny that. Gotta love Denver. Gotta love the fans. You gotta love the coaching staff. Gotta love the fact that they built a new facility, and they built it in record time, and it's humongous and it's beautiful. That new facility is amazing, guys. If you have not checked out that facility, look online, look at the videos. That facility is awesome. It looks great, and I can't wait to see the rest of what's coming with that facility, guys. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited that the players are going to have all these awesome resources at their disposal to try to succeed and grow because they have the full and endless support of this coaching staff and this ownership. So, with Davis Webb, he definitely did not want to leave, and he definitely said that he signed that deal as fast as possible. And I can't deny him. I can't deny that either. If I was him, I would love to be a play caller under Sean. Some people think as like, oh, that sounds terrifying, to have a man that's one of the best play callers, won a Super Bowl, going to be a Hall of Famer, breathing down your neck. I don't think it's going to be breathing down his neck. I think Davis is going to make his mark, and I think Sean's going to be quite proud of what he sees. I know that there's a lot of reason to be like, oh, well, he's a first-time play caller. Let's be negative. But, guys, you chose the wrong host if you want me to be negative. So I am pretty excited for this. You should be excited, too. Davis Webb is going to really unlock Bo a little bit. And Davis even said that, he was the QB coach before. But, now he's got to be a little more serious with Bo and that room. But either way, I think he knows what Bo loves, and we're gonna see a few things probably catered to Bo to help him a little bit. So got to stay excited for that, guys. Uh, like, comment, and share. Comment underneath, guys, live or right now, or after the fact, guys. Let me know what you think about Davis Webb sticking around. Let me know what you think about Davis Webb's first media scrum as the OC. He's had media scrums before, back when he was the QB coach, but think about what it means now and the impact that this man's having as your play caller. What do you think is going to happen with this offense? What do you expect? Do you expect it to be? Hi. Yeah, hi. Sorry, guys. Do you expect it to be the same old Sean Payton offense with just a little difference, or do you think maybe each week it's going to get deeper and deeper and looking different, or do you think that it's just going to be different from the start and there'll still be a little bit of Sean in there? What do you think? I'm really thinking it's going to be just 100% Davis's ship, but it's going to look a lot and be very similar to this offense. I don't think there's this Sean Payton offense. I don't think there's much to change, other than certain decision making and certain play calls that might have been better. Maybe he knows certain things that are better, to help Bo with maybe getting a few more things. But I'm just excited because Cortland was like this diehard, like, third down, machine. And I'm just excited that he can be that third down machine with a Waddle on the other side. And I'm excited that it's Davis Webb that's going to be making this happen. Because it wasn't just the Broncos that were high on Davis, guys. It was the whole league that was high on Davis. It was the Raiders that was high on Davis. A lot of these guys wanted to, a lot of these teams wanted to go after Davis Webb. And I think that Davis is the right man for the job. You can't deny it. He has sat behind Sean for a year or so, and he very much deserves this chance. And if it wasn't for the fact that Sean was one of the best play callers in history, people wouldn't be second guessing, like, oh, you're making this guy the OC. If he was a defensive-minded coach, people wouldn't be asking this decision. They'd be saying, wow, it's the best decision to make. But no, because the fact that you have one of the best offensive play callers in history as your head coach, people are going to be skeptical of Davis. And they'll be wondering, can he do a better job? And I think he can. I think it's going to just look a little different at first, guys. All right, guys. So we got, let's see. Yeah, and then, one thing, I know the media were talking today, they were all pretty impressed by how Davis handled himself. I was too. Davis, he handled himself on the mic. Like, again, I said he's done these scrums before when he was a QB coach, but he's done them now as the offensive coordinator now. And, I mean, it's the only reason why it's even more exciting is because now we know that he's actually, in a position of power and making some moves and changes. And I think that everything he's going to do is going to be for the benefit, guys. All right, guys, so we're about halfway through the show. We are also about halfway through our script, so we may just take a quick, second to step away for a second so I can drink this Red Bull and go use the bathroom real quick because I have to really go, guys. I rushed home, and, man, it was... a rush to get back and get everything set up, ready to go. So we're going to maybe take a 2-minute intermission max. We'll call it 2 minutes, maybe 3. And we will literally just jump aside and, hit this intermission screen. So I'm going to put you guys on intermission or be right back. Yeah, we'll go be right back. And intermission's more like 5-10 minutes. This is going to be quicker, guys. So we'll go be right back. And I'll be right back. Give me 2-3 minutes. Let me go to the bathroom. All right, guys, we're back. So, had to take a quick little intermission, guys. Had to use the little boy's room. It was, I worked alone. So when I work alone, guys, at work, and I literally work and then I come straight home and I hop on the stream. When I work alone, bathroom breaks are a little limited. Same with lunch breaks. So like when I got off work, I ran and got a snack wrap, and I was like, let's go eat. And then I immediately, came home and hopped on the stream. Thank you guys for popping in. Again, if you're here with me, like, subscribe, comment. Again, engage with me. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think about these subjects, whether it's Sean Payton coming back on an extension, whether it's Davis Webb, and his first media scrum, or just what you're excited with Davis Webb, let me know about that. And then also, let me know what you guys think about, what's going on with that running back room. Let me know what you think about who's going to make the roster, who isn't making the roster, who's going on the practice squad. Let me know, guys. Besides that, guys, we got 2 more topics. Let's see. All right, so yes, we do have 2 more topics. Little darker topics, but we'll get into them real quick. One of them, guys, Henry Ruggs. It's not national media. I don't think it's like pushing the national media, subject that much, but he was denied parole. I have said before, I've gone on to this before, so only going to spend like 5 minutes or so talking Henry Ruggs, but maybe 10. But with Henry Ruggs, guys, I just want you to know that it's nothing personal other than the fact that I just want to see accountability from these actions of some of these rich, wealthy people that just want to act irresponsible and behave irresponsibly and not think about their actions. I want to see accountability from these people, while normal, everyday people, when they do stuff like this, they don't get out of it, and they usually go to jail. And then you got guys or people that have money, and they get slaps on the wrist or easier sentencing because they could just afford better lawyers or whatever. So in terms of the Henry Ruggs thing, guys, I just personally don't want him to be able to touch a football field, no matter how it is, whether it's an arena football, whether it's one of these smaller leagues. I don't care. I just don't want to see Henry Ruggs touch a football field. And one thing is yes, he was denied parole, but in terms of Henry Ruggs, guys, I would like to see him fulfill the sentence. That's what I would love. Me personally, because he would be out of his physical prime by then, and I think that there would be never a chance for a football career ever again. I don't care what he does when he gets out to make money or whatever. I just don't want to see the man ever on a football field again. I don't think he deserves it. And people of Vegas like me, we are a little more affected by the whole Tina Tintor and her dog Max, in the car crash situation with Waddle. For those that don't know, Waddle took not Waddle, guys. Not Waddle, guys. With Ruggs. With Henry Ruggs, guys, Ruggs, he made the irresponsible decision of going to Topgolf, getting really, really drunk, and then hopping behind the wheel of his Corvette. And he went very, very fast, and he did not care where he was going, at what speed, and he hit a lady, and her car caught onto a ball of fire, and her dog burned alive. And there's videos out there, or some people, witnesses, claim that they heard them screaming inside the car because they couldn't get out. So I, like a lot of Vegas residents, we like seeing these rich people face accountability, because we see a lot of rich people in the city flexing on people, and we don't care if you do that, but we want to see some real true accountability that, shows that we're all equal. And nothing feels equal when you got stuff like that happening, and him possibly being able to get out and maybe play football. And I just hope he doesn't get that chance. In my opinion, I don't like getting into this dark stuff, this criminal side of sports. I don't like it. I hate the criminal side of sports, but sometimes you got to talk about it. And with the whole Henry Ruggs thing, the city of Las Vegas, for the most part, probably agrees. They just want to see him in jail still. They want more accountability, and I don't blame them. How can you not want accountability? And especially because that family probably wants more accountability and deserves more accountability. And he got a pretty easy sentence, in my opinion. So he should I just hope that he can serve more of that sentence out before ever getting out. And I just don't want to see him on a football field. Yeah, that's my take on that, guys. It's not a great it's not a great thing to be happy about or to even have to talk about, but sadly it happened. All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, guys, so we're going to try to work our way through some of this dark stuff real quick. So that's all I'm going to really do on the whole Henry Ruggs thing. He has been denied parole, but Las Vegas residents in particular, I wanted to cover it because people of Las Vegas have not forgotten, and we just wanted the accountability to stay. All right, guys, so we are going to get into this Jonathan Cooper thing. It's not a fun topic because it appears that things have changed. There's been some developments. So here we are. Let me load it up for you guys. I'm pulling up the 9 News article right now. There's other articles from other great networks that we could check and reference, but we're going to just check out 9 News. Oops, hold on. All right. So, guys, if anyone's not aware, last week, Jonathan Cooper and his girlfriend were arrested, both with domestic violence. Cooper had a criminal mischief charge. Well, based off of how everything works, it seems like that the DV charges or whatever are gone. But it seems like you end up seeing... they're still... Yeah, okay, yeah. So you had 2 initial cases of domestic violence and misdemeanor mischief, but it's changed or whatever because now you got an additional felony charge, guys, of second-degree assault by strangulation and a charge of third-degree assault. This kind of changes some of what may have happened or may happen with what's going on with this thing. Obviously, we got to wait and see how court plays out. There's a lot that's like wait and see with this. Like Cooper is at practice still. He was at practice. Here you go.
Just into the newsroom, Broncos linebacker Jonathan Cooper faces new charges related to a domestic violence arrest. He and his girlfriend were taken into custody last week. Court documents claim an argument over cheating allegations led to a physical struggle. New court documents show he faces new charges, including second-degree assault, strangulation, felony. He pled not guilty earlier this week to criminal mischief charges. We're working to learn more about these new charges.
Okay, guys. So, yeah, there you have it. Yeah, guys. I don't want to be the one to talk about it, but yeah, you do have like training camp and stuff coming up. You do have some other stuff. Hold on. I didn't turn there it is, guys. Screen capture. Sorry. Here we are, guys. We're back. Here's the Jonathan Cooper situation, though. Yeah, so you got now felony charges. Oh, you got a felony charge. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but this felony charge, guys, I think this changes stuff. I think this. We'll see how the court plays out, but I think this really impacts this, and you may have to start thinking about the future and how this stuff goes. This news came out late, like in the middle of the night, so I saw it and I was like, we're gonna get into it, and it's not fun, but we'll be one of the first few to really cover it, I guess. I know that Sean Payton, he did talk about it today, and Sean Payton did say that the league is kind of like taking the lead on this situation, but they're also paying attention to it and just letting it play out and see how it goes. It's not a fun thing, guys. Domestic violence is never fun, and on previous streams, I have said, like, at least it wasn't like a Ray Rice thing or stuff like that. Obviously, I take that back because, if these charges are there, makes you wonder what led them to add those charges. We looked at the affidavit on the last stream, I believe, and when we looked at that affidavit, there was like discussion, or at least the female in the case had claimed that she was strangled, and now you have a charge for strangulation. So I don't know how or what to say about that, guys. It's never pretty. Yeah, someone must have been downplaying the hell of it. I don't know who it was. It's great point, Cornbreadimus. And thank you for popping in. You're a legend. I see you in all the other chats for all the amazing creators. I'm just grateful to even have you grace my presence. I'm not a big meanie like Mike. Trust me, I will praise you to high hell, guys. So, if you pop in here, I'll praise you. But thank you, Cornbreadimus, for popping in. And yeah, if they're throwing a felony at him, I do think that... there's something to this, and that they were hiding it or something. Maybe there was something wrong with the investigation in the beginning. I don't know. Hopefully this isn't all true, guys. As fans, we don't like this, but the charges were added. So, and now you got a felony. So that's just the facts that are there. Who knows how it plays out? I don't know if it's going to be great anyway. At this point, is this PR great to keep having around? I don't know. This is why I asked for your guys' feedback. I'm just a little rookie in this game. I just want to know what others think about this. I covered the little Henry Ruggs news real quick, just because that's a sensitive subject for us here in Vegas. But yeah, thank you for popping in. If anyone has anything to say, yeah, to downplay this and like that, if that is the case, if they downplayed it, that just makes everyone look bad who's involved. Like, whether it's the cops, whether it's Cooper, I want to see body cam, guys. I don't know if the city has given out body cam footage yet, or if some of these local channels like 9 News has put in for the body cam videos of like these arrests. And some of these discussions that were probably handed or held. That's what I would love to see, is the body cam video, or any kind of video pertaining to whether it's inside the vehicle after the arrest and there's conversation. I would love to see any and all amount of body cam video from this too. That's just from the part of, like, I think that it belongs out there, of course. I think we all deserve to be able to indulge and know it now that it's all been documented. But I want to see if at some point in there someone was trying to cover up for him or try to dial it back. Again, we got to see how this happens. It seems like trial is set for like the 20-something of July, I think 22nd. Let's see. I think he has camp on the 22nd or something. Yeah, July 22nd is... okay, no, so the trial is the 22nd, and I believe camp is like a week or so after, so I think it's not long after after this trial begins is when that stuff would happen. I don't know, I think, at what point do you guys decide to just move on? No, man, you're awesome, man. Give yourself a pat on the back, Cornbreadimus. You, Mike doesn't give you applause, but you deserve this. And that's just for being in all of the, Broncos channels and all of the people that make Broncos content. That's just for being in their chats and popping up and asking great questions. Whether you're in DNVRs, whether you're in Mike's chats, whether you're popping up in literally anywhere, man. I see you popping up everywhere. So it warms my heart because before I started this stream and the show and stuff, and just the idea of trying to normalize talking sports at late night. Before I started that, I was someone who just indulged in every ounce of Broncos content, no matter who or which creator. So just to see someone else that's done that or is in every one of them, it means a lot, because I know that you're a big Bronco fan, you care about this team, and that's why your opinion mattered to me too. And I'm grateful to have you pop in. Thank you for showing up, and anyone that shows up at this time, I'm just grateful to have you here, because it is currently like 3:26 Mountain Time. So if anyone's up right now, that's awesome. That's incredible. It's never easy to be up at this time of night for some people, but a lot of people also have to be up at this time of night because they're forced, whether they work graveyard or if you're like me, you work the 4 p.m. to midnight shift, and I don't get home sometimes till like 12:30. Tonight was one of those nights I got out a little later, and then I was like, because I worked alone today, guys, I had minimal bathroom breaks, minimal lunch breaks. So I had to literally run to McDonald's, grab a snack wrap so I can grab something to eat. And then I came right back, turned the computer on, got everything set up the best I could. Yes, so here you guys are. I got you popped up right here, literally on my screen capture, so you guys can see me. But, yeah, guys, oops, sorry. With that Jonathan Cooper thing, guys, obviously, this production value is not as good as some of these other guys. So I'm sorry, but this is what you get for a 76 subscriber type production value show. We're working on it. I'm just grateful that I'm even popping up on some of those like rankings that Mike does online. Just to see my channel's name down there. My little podunk show out here in the middle of the desert. Just wanted to talk Broncos ball while everyone's sleeping, some crazy guy to go work 8 hours and just come home and just stay up and talk sports for 3, 4, 5 hours. But I just love it. I just love talking sports, and the only reason why I made this channel is because there's no one talking live at night. Because if there was someone talking late at night, I would probably just be in their stream, and I would have never done this. But because of it, I'm like, here I am. We own the night. We are Batman. All of us are Batman because we are the night. We are still up. That's why we are here. We're still up and we want to talk sports. That's why the name exists. It's because we're still up and we want to talk sports, guys. So thank you for showing up again. I appreciate all the love from everyone that has shown up. We did discuss a few things on this show. So if you hopped in late, feel free to, check stuff out before. Or if you just have some takes right now, I would love that. I did cover Sean Payton's deal. I did get into the running back room. I did get into Davis Webb. Some of the stuff, like my production and stuff, will get a lot better, and how I plan these streams out more. But I've been only writing scripts for like a few shows now, and I like doing it on paper because it feels more authentic. And I feel like I'm getting a little better with each show, and that's all we look for, is like daily growth. Yeah, I see what you said there about, the reasons why, and hopefully it's not legit. Hopefully it's not legit, but either way, we'll see. If the trial happens and there's truth to it, there it is. It's done. No matter what, you're ripping the Band-Aid and you're done. If there is truth to that, probably. I hope there's no truth to it, because I've always thought that Broncos country was better than this, better than the stuff we see it happen on other teams. And, sometimes we don't expect it to happen to our team, and it does. And when it does, it just disappoints you, it disappoints the fan base. So, I totally understand there. Yeah, so Cornbreadimus was saying, guys, that the prosecuting attorney probably created those charges for 3 possible reasons. 1, to force a plea. 1, to size down the deal, or to try to scare him into pleading. make the team look bad, or it's legit, and hopefully it's not legit. Fingers crossed it's not legit, because then no matter what, this is all done, and no matter what, I mean, again, people that want Von Miller back, I understand you want him back. This is not the reason to want him back. If in fact he ends up off this team because of how this plays out, then that's when I'm okay with the discussion of like, do we need more? Do we need, whatever. But right now, guys, I really don't want to hear much of this Von Miller talk. I love Von, and I've seen I saw Von's workout today, bro. Von is looking great. Von played 35% of the snaps for Washington, still pulled off 9 sacks. He's had a solid year. Do I think that the move is necessary right now while Coop's on the team and while this team is the way it is? No. But if something happens and this happens, that's the best bet, in my opinion. If this is legit and you lose out on Cooper, I do think that the idea of bringing Von back makes more sense, because one, the vibes thing is going to be real, and losing someone for that reason, that's got to suck. So that's why you definitely probably want to bring in some better vibes to immediately try to change the narrative, change the whole vibe around the team, because you may have lost an edge for a bad reason. So why not bring in a beloved edge that everyone loves? That changes the whole locker room. I'm not saying that that's why you want it. And again, this is not the reason why you want Von. So anyone saying, this is, now we can get Von, they're celebrating this. If there's truth to this, there's no reason to be celebrating it. Anyone that has experienced this or knows someone in their life or family that has experienced it is not good. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand the whole Von thing. I understand. Yeah, this whole discussion of like bringing people in because of a domestic charge, it's just like this is all nasty and sucks. I feel, as the kids say, yucky talking about this kind of behavior. I've made fun of Greg Hardy because I do think he deserves everything that he has had coming to him. So that's why whenever I watch combat sports, I root against Greg Hardy. But yeah, no lie, Cornbread is right, man. Von Miller has similar charges, and in his words, they can't ethically do that. And do I think that they can't ethically do that? Maybe. Do I think that would stop them? Probably not. If the Cooper thing goes this way, I could see them probably bringing Von in, because just the fan base is that easy to win over. Some of the fan base is not looking or are not reasonable to have that discussion still. They're just wanting to bring him back for vibes. I'm hearing good things about Q Robinson. I'm hearing good things about some of these depth guys. Like, even if you were to lose Jonathan Cooper, if this is all true and it's bad and you don't want it to be, but if you were, I'm almost like confident in this edge room. It almost makes me happy, because I was talking earlier in the stream how like you want to keep. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to see a Bosa on this team. I understand why you said that, though. It makes sense. Great, great solid, replacement. I just don't want to see a Bosa. I hate the Bosas. I don't like Joey because he was a Charger. I'm not a Bosa fan, but that would be a good replacement. I'm also excited with the depth guys on this team, though. There's some guys that I'm excited for. Earlier in the stream, I was talking about how, like, I want to keep 5 running backs. One of them would be your fullback. So I want to keep 4 running backs. And then, like I was talking about the tight ends, I would love to keep 5. But then I think that maybe you just go with 4. And, you try to sneak, one of them onto the practice squad. Point being, guys, is that you have a lot of positions that you're going to maybe want to keep extras at. And if this Cooper thing were to happen, maybe you don't even need to replace them because the replacement's on the team. Maybe you just go with these young guys. Oh, dude, man, the Q is huge. He is a huge edge. The man is big. I think that and high motor. I love high motor guys, just like Jonah. I love high motor guys. I think that's a word that sometimes gets forgotten about when it comes to like evaluating or talking about players. But high motor That's a great word, great discussion to have with some of these guys that just don't quit, just keep going. You can knock them on their ass and then they pop back up, and even if you knock them on their ass again, they're back up again and they're still chasing and still continuing to play. High motor guys are cool. Absolutely. No, Cornbreadimus is right. If it's and see, I don't know how to pop up chats on here, so I'm on Stream Labs, not StreamYard, which a lot of these other streamers use. I'm making the switch to StreamYard, so soon I'll be able to pop up your guys' comments. I don't know how to pop any of these comments up right now until I make that switch. So I would pop your comment up on screen if I could. Oh, yeah, man. See, here's the thing is like with Ellis, they were saying that there's been talk that he's been playing so good outside that they haven't been able to get him inside just to play him that way because he's just looking so good outside. Just keep him outside. Bring Red Murdoch in. Yeah, Red freaking Murdoch. I had someone on Twitter who was... I want to give them a proper shout out real quick, but they offered me a chance and then they forgot. But I was supposed to actually give a quote or actually give my first actual business or professional style opinion on Red Murdoch, because they're a little Instagram page that's trying to let's see, it's called Slanted Uptown, and she's a sweet lady. I did call her bro at first, so I do feel bad. Yeah, no, great for popping in. No, I'm grateful to have you chatting, man. I'm grateful to have people show up late night. I've always told myself it doesn't matter if I'm here rambling by myself or if I get one person or 5 people or 5 million. I'm just here to talk sports and normalize the idea. As long as I'm doing it, the idea is being pushed and normalized that you can be having late night live sports talk, not reruns, live late night sports talk. So I just appreciate to have anyone in here and popping in. Let's see. Yeah, so Slanted Uptown, little Instagram page, tiny little Instagram page. I'll pop them up real quick just so I can show you. But and we'll give her a shout out. But she did offer me at one point a chance to. I was supposed to give a quote or something on her Red Murdoch post. All right, here it is. Let me show you. All right, so this was her Red Murdoch post today, and she actually reached out and was gonna get me to give a quote or something, and she ended up just forgetting. But with all these new small channels and pages online, there's usually only 1-2 people involved a lot of times, guys. But look at these clips, courtesy of Slanted Uptown. Here's your Red Murdoch clips. Cornbreadimus. Look at that. This is what you want. If you want Red Murdoch, I will give you Red Murdoch. Do I think that you'll get Red Murdoch as fast as you want in the rotation? Maybe not. Do I think Red Murdoch and Torian York should maybe... do I think the case for Torian York and Red Murdoch to really beat out or put some pressure on LaVale Bailey and... sorry, another linebacker slipping my tongue, guys, but I think that they can really put some pressure on some of those other linebackers as some depth guys. But look at this. You want Red Murdoch? You get Red Murdoch. Yep, she loves Red Murdoch. Oh, look at all these fumbles, boys. I just can't get over Red Murdoch and these fumbles. Sometimes that's just... Yeah, go check out Slanted Uptown on Instagram, guys. Really sweet lady, and I hope that me and her can get some work done in the future. We're going to try to do something. She's talking all kinds of sports, all kinds of Broncos. Not Broncos, all kinds of NFL ball. You can see this is what she's got going. She's got some cool stuff out there. The legendary return that shook the NFL. I think we know which one this one was, guys. I think we know. Look at these returns. We know the James Harrison one. I was a child for this, guys. I was in elementary school, I think 5th grade, 4th, 5th grade when this happened. I think it was 5th grade. yeah, fifth or sixth at the latest when that one happened. Big one right there. I think we all know this one. The moment that turned the season around, that literally turned the season around. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Just wanted to give Slanted Uptown a big shout out on YouTube. On Instagram, because though we didn't get my quote and stuff for the Red Murdoch talk, I really do know that we had a nice chat, and I'm excited to really do some work together. Whether it's on Instagram or whatever, or if you're just looking for quotes, I got you. So go check out Slanted Uptown if you have an Instagram account, guys. Jumping back to my screen real quick, though. Hi. All right, you're back. All right, guys. So, and this is also so I can check out these comments. Oh yeah, high IQ, all hurt. I love an undersized, depth player that can really play their way above of what people's expectations are. Oh, our backup quarterbacks. So I've heard a lot of good things. Cornbreadimus, great question. What do I think about backup quarterbacks? And at least till I make the full switch to StreamYards, I'm going to be repeating questions until I pop them up on screen, guys. And when I do, it'll be like your normal format that you see from a lot of other guys with how they pop stuff up on screen. But in terms of what I think about, these backup quarterbacks, hearing a lot of positivity with Sam Ehlinger taking another step. I was pro trade Jarrett Stidham. I think that you could do a little better. I think that I'm also pro with just trying to get a little more capital for. I think you need a better backup. I want a backup that I think could win it for me, and. I don't know if he is that guy. I want a backup that can win it for me. I think that Ehlinger's taking a positive progression, but I was pro trade Stidham and try to get some sort of draft capital for this next draft, just because all this hype back in the offseason about, and we're still in the offseason, but back in like the draft prep area of the offseason where you had guys doing draft prep, a lot of them were just saying like, oh, next year's draft. So I heard a lot about next year's draft, and I'm starting to buy in that next year has some pretty good talent, and I would love anything to get some extra picks for next year's draft, especially because if you want my blue and orange like goggle take, I think we're winning the Super Bowl, and just to be able to now. That's my blue and orange goggle take. My realistic take is like it's going to be a tough season. It's going to be a battle. We'll see how it goes. My Super Bowl predictions: Broncos, Rams. But if we can get a Super Bowl win, I think that to be able to have a nice draft next year to reload, because we saw how Super Bowl 50 after that season, it just wiped us out. And, we lost guys due to free agency, and we tried to replace guys and it didn't work out. I would love to reload and have as many picks for what may be, as experts. I'm not an expert, but as experts claim, one of the deepest drafts in recent history. So I'm excited to see that. So that's why I think that, there's value in Jarrett for trading him, but I don't know if he's the backup that, if an emergency, gets you over the hump. Guys that I like. I'm a big Jameis Winston fan. I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I need to check if either of them are on different teams right now. I'm not sure if Teddy or Jameis is a free agent. I know Jameis was just at the Knicks game. Let's see. All right, let's see, guys. We're going to see. Okay, so yeah, he is still a Giant. I mean, you'd have to trade for Winston. I don't know if... I'm hearing great things about Tanner McKee, too. I'm hearing all this Tanner McKee stuff. It was just maybe like a day or so ago. I was taking a break from the channel, of course, for my, dealing with the family dog dying and needing a break. But there's a period as I was scrolling online, I just kept seeing stuff about Tanner McKee, and I'm like, I could see it work for sure. It would be a great fit. No, you don't need to pay him millions of dollars to lose games either. I think that there's upside with either cheaper guys or... like right now, if I'm just choosing a guy that may or may not get it done at backup, I think Jarrett is in that position. So that's why if I'm taking Jarrett or Sam, I'm taking Sam just to go cheaper and save that extra money for something else if we can't upgrade our quarterback room. Yeah, Jameis is a Giant still, so you would have to trade for him. I don't know if you can do a swap. Probably not. I don't think that's something they want. I know the city of New York really loves Jameis. I would love to see Jameis. I'm a big Jameis fan because of how Sean made him work. I'm also a big Teddy fan. I'm going to see if Teddy's on a team real quick. Those are my two favorites, but no, McKee's great. Marcus Mariota is a great choice. Great choice. Very good choice. I don't know where I heard something online. Someone had like a narrative about him, said something like he quits on his team or nothing. But all I saw last year, in that, if people want my Mario to take, is I saw that Broncos Commanders game. I saw him come one play away from beating the Broncos. So I do think that's a great choice. Great pull, pulling out the Tanner McKee, pulling out the Marcus Mariota, great choices. Great discussion and great choices right there. I can't deny that that's a great choice. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how Davis Webb really fits in with this team. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so like even Teddy, yeah, he's a Lion. So my two favorite guys aren't even on or available. So, you got Teddy and Jameis, my two favorite guys, they're both on other teams. So scratch that, totally scratch that. All right. No, I like the idea of shaking things up at QB. I just don't know if Ellinger is much better than Stidham, but in my opinion, if you can get cheaper, I would do it. I just like the idea of trying to get some a better backup in here. If not getting a better backup in here, maybe try to get a pick or free up the money. I've heard that even Ellinger, I've heard, is religious too. There's something about that QB room. Like, man, I just wish Tim Tebow could show up and be the assistant QB coach or something. Maybe we need a team pastor. I don't know if we already have one. Do you know if the Broncos have a team pastor? That's a great question, honestly. Yeah, because I know Ellis's dad was, I think, the pastor at one point. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they do. They have a team chaplain, Reza Seda. I don't know if I pronounced that name right. I do apologize if I didn't. But no, Tim Tebow would be like the GOAT, like team pastor. I've always said that, like, there's Broncos QBs, like there's 3 of them. Like, imagine if all of them brought your daughter home. Who would you be happiest with? Tim Tebow seems like the safest bet. Tim Tebow is like probably a very safe bet, but not a successful bet. Whereas you got, Bo, also very safe religious bet, but also putting it out on the field, so also a bet. But then you got like Drew Lock, Mr. Swaggy himself. So I'm like, Drew Lock would probably be the one to make the dads not happy. They'd be happy to probably see Bo, because Bo would be like that wealthy but also good, religious kind of guy. Then you got Tim Tebow, that also hyper religious, but also and there's nothing wrong with that. I also love that vibe in the locker room. I love that. I think a lot of these locker rooms got to have some great core religious guys in the rooms. It's not even about religion. It's about like personality and morals. And a lot of those guys end up being great leaders on a lot of these teams. Man, I didn't know Ellinger had 9 starts. And they're 0-1. Wow. Man, why you gotta make me feel so bad about that Ellinger talk now? I was thinking that he's taking a step up. No. In all honesty, no, I get your point. Again, I would rather have another Bronco. I mean, at least another backup. I liked some of those other guys. I might check in more on McKee just so I could see what all the talk's about, because I'll take your, I'll agree with you on that. I'll go with you on that. But yeah, no, I think that I don't see much. I think either way, it sounds like you're losing with Stidham or with Ellinger. So I know people thought that Stidham was going to be a very good, there's a period where we were all saying that he's one of the upper echelon of backup quarterbacks. That was something that was being said about Stidham, is that people said he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. I don't even think that's the case anymore. I think he's a good backup, but I just don't think, I think to be considered a better or one of the best backups, you have to see this guy as someone who could maybe come in, not just start for 1 or 2 games and win you games, but as someone that now, in today's game, you saw what happened with Nick Foles and the Eagles. We saw what almost happened with the Broncos. You need a backup quarterback that not only you think you could win 1 or 2 games in the regular season, but is also competent to be a leader and win it all. So I think when it comes to this kind of situation with backup quarterbacks, they're going to be reevaluated differently, because we saw it work out and the Eagles win that way, but then we saw it fail with the Broncos. Obviously, it happened in 2 different manners, where Foles had a whole playoffs and a few games, I believe, whereas, Stidham was thrown right into it. I think when it comes to evaluating backup quarterbacks now, people need to really think, not only can this guy get us a few wins, but if it was like the biggest of games, can he also do it? And that's why maybe looking into some of these backup quarterbacks, no matter what, those guys we discussed, Cornbread minus McKee, I believe, whether it's Mariota, whether it's Teddy or Jameis, like I said, even though Teddy and Jameis aren't options, all of those guys were long-term starters, and it seems like those may be the higher level backups to go with, because Foles had a solid amount of starting time. People forget about that. He had a solid amount of starting time in his career too, before he ever got to be there for that Super Bowl run. Foles had been through it. So I think that when it comes to these backup QBs, you want to evaluate for guys that also could probably win it all, not just win a few for you. Absolutely. Great point. Cornbread. All right, guys. So just want to say, it is currently 3:54 Mountain Time. Thank you for popping in, everyone. Thank you, Cornbread. Thank you to my mom earlier. Grateful to have everyone popping in. Grateful to have the conversation. My mother carried the chat for the first half of the show, and Cornbread came in and covered the other half of the chat, so it's awesome. Some of these shows, I haven't listed that, these shows are going to go from 1:30 Mountain Time to 4:30 Mountain Time, but sometimes it's just not feasible because sometimes my coworker who relieves me at night doesn't get there on time, or sometimes they got new hires and they just bail on the job, and the next thing you know, I'm stuck. And sometimes I've had to cancel 1 or 2 shows just because of coworkers not showing up or canceling or stuff, and because I either don't get back until it's too late to stream, and then because we're a late night show. We're going to do watch-alongs during the regular season, and in this off-season period, I still talk about Broncos. Broncos is what we talk about. Oh, we have 2 cats on stream, guys. We have 2 cats on stream. Let's see if we can get her on my lap. See, I have cats on camera, guys. This is the one thing I bring. Yeah, thank you, man. She is awesome. I do appreciate her. She was subscriber number 2. When I created this idea and this journey, I love late night, I love late night talk, and I also love sports. So I wanted to mix 2 things that mean a lot to me and that inspire me and I take a lot from. And I grew up watching Letterman. I watched Colbert and, Jon Stewart. I watched Conan as a redhead. I grew up watching Conan, Kimmel. I watch late night no matter who it is. I just love late night because I was always a late night person growing up, and then I've always worked late jobs that's got me off work at midnight or work throughout the night. So I love the idea of anything to grow. Late night concepts in any manner, whether it's late night sports talk, whether it's late night, whether if you're someone that likes fashion and you want to do late night fashion talk. I think late night, in terms of just consumerism, the world needs to be broadened and their minds needs to be opened up to this idea of late night everything. But for me and specifically, I'm trying to push late night sports talk. As I said, we do Broncos talk in the off season. We do Broncos and other stuff. So like I react to, I'm going to be doing live streams. So I'm going to be reacting to UFC fights. We got UFC 250 coming up. I do react to, the Stanley Cup, the Hurricanes pulled it out. So good on the Hurricanes. But you also got the Golden Knights head coach saying, we're going to leave our clothes here, or I'm leaving my clothes here because we'll be back for Game 7. So good luck on getting to Game 7 so you can actually, live up to that quote. Because if you don't, bro, I hope you do leave the clothes in Carolina. Because you can't say that without, you can't say that you're going to leave your clothes here because we'll be back. We'll be back in Game 7, only to lose and not come back. Because if so, they shouldn't even send your stuff back, bro. Just leave it. Let's see. No, I understand the underuse of Marvin Mims is definitely something that, Cornbread's pointing out as something that hinders this team. They could be using Mims more. And I would like to think that that was a Sean Payton thing. I would like to think that Davis is going to really use him more. Yeah, and then you also said dependable backup quarterback. Yeah, backup quarterback is a problem. I don't think Stidham's that guy. Is there going to be another quarterback before the season starts? That's not Stidham Railinger? Probably not. Is this the room that you're stuck with for this year? Probably. We'll see. Is Kurt Warner's son still at camp, or is that where is he? I like to follow his story. Because I loved his dad. I love arena football, so I love Kurt Warner's story. Arena football is insane, and it's great vibes. No, but yeah, with Marvin Mims, so I've said that I think, obviously you got wide receiver 1 and 2 are Cortland and Waddle, and I think that both are wide receiver 1 depending on the week. There's some matchups where Court can easily be wide receiver 1, and Waddle can just easily pull from that and really open stuff up for Court. And then there's going to be weeks where Court's going to be able to really take away a true big corner or someone that is really locked down for that other team, or Court's going to even take another safety away. Depending on how you use them, they're going to really bounce off each other well, and that leaves everyone wondering who's that third wide receiver. And I understand there's a lot of people that have takes on Pat Bryant, a lot of people saying that it should be Marvin. Me personally, I think it's gonna be Franklin at the beginning, just because of what he did last year. I think it's out there. Yeah, I think it's out there that Troy, last year he was your third receiver in terms of yards and stuff like that. So I think that's why it's fair to assume that maybe he might be wide receiver 3 to begin with, but I don't think there's a true wide receiver 3. I think it's all rotation based, and I think the matchups and week to week can play a factor in who wide receiver 3 is that week. But either way, I mean, again, George Payton, Sean Payton, embarrassment of riches, great GM. Just look at us talking about another discussion of who's going to get the rotation. All three of those guys, Troy, Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims, all of them are wide receiver 2s on other teams. They're all 2s on other teams, and we're talking about our 3, 4, and 5. So we should be very grateful. You should. We'll vibe it into Sean Payton's head, honestly. I agree. I do think so that would be something that would need to get into Sean's head. I don't know if Sean Payton watches us. I like to imagine that Sean's up late at night watching film, but then, looking to see what I have to say. I really would love to see if Sean's just like, oh man, Cody said this. He's right. Got to do this. So that's just the makeup world I live in. Yeah, no, I think that Mims is underutilized, and I agree. I think it's going to start out the year with seeing a little bit of Troy as wide receiver 3. I think it's going to be all rotation based, and I heard the whole Clayton and Duper talk on Mike's show. Yes, I think it was today / the other day too. But I think that's a great comparison, and there's ways to use those guys, especially with Court. I think that when people look at how to use these receivers, stop looking at using them as duos, start looking at them as trios, because we're gonna do enough on the ground to easily pull in a safety every once in a while. We're going to do enough every once in a while to at least keep those safeties honest, and have them have to at least keep an eye on that box. So even if they're not in that box and they're keeping an eye on it, I think that's going to be just enough, between what you got with, guys like Court, Mims, Waddle. And I'm hearing that the Waddle speed is crazy. People that are at Broncos camp are saying the speed is different than what they've seen, which means, he is a little faster than Mims. But no, I see what you mean with that matchup, because you got two great burners, and they're both shifty. And Mims deserves more time. Yeah, Mims 1 drop in 2025, 0 drops in 2024. Our team is second most in drops. That's the problem with Troy. Troy had some drops. And so even though I say Troy will be, wide receiver 3 to start, I definitely think that, that is in no way a set thing. It's JK could be the starting back every game of the season, but he could be taking a very minimal role too. And you could see guys like RJ and Jonah having more production than him, and yet he's still getting the start. I think you just might see Troy get the start week 1. That's probably what I should have said. In terms of rotation, I do think Mims has the best bet to really fill in that role, because I want to see Pat Bryant stay healthy. He needs to stay healthy. 2 concussions. I want to see him stay healthy. Yeah. No, great point. You had 2 coaches fired. Hopefully, I don't think that was the coach's fault. The coaches were not the ones dropping the balls. And, again, shots fired to Troy Franklin, but, don't drop balls. Troy was a problem with that. So I fully understand there. And Troy's potential is great, guys. Again, I love that we're having this discussion, because other teams would be dying to have this discussion, that you have these backs. Not these backs. Whether it's your backs, whether it's your running, your wide receivers, people would be loving to have this discussion on some of these other teams about their 3rd, 4th, and 5th receiver, who's going to be the 3rd, because they're all that good. The fact that we get to have discussions like that is just silly, and we're ridiculous. We're gifted and we're lucky. As Broncos fans in general, we should be grateful. But no, receivers definitely deserve to be punched. Marvin does not drop passes, so that's a great point. I'm excited to see how they use these receivers more, and how this passing game changes. It's still going to feel like a Sean offense, but I want to see what the Davis Webb tweaks are, because that's what he said. He said it's going to be a Sean Payton offense with some tweaks. Man, if anyone's reading the chat, if you're watching this after the fact, I really suggest that you watch the chat when you watch this after the fact, because you get to see great questions, you get to see great points and takes, and just some great points right here talking about Mims creates more space, more than even Njigba. So he creates plenty of space, 4.5 feet of space. Mims gets open. Sometimes there's some overthrows last year that were not good either, and I'm really excited to see if maybe that's something Davis can kind of iron out of Bo a little bit. there's a few passes last year that would have been great that if Bo hit on. I would have loved, but no, Mims deserves that opportunity for sure. I mean, he can easily just be like 1,000-yard guy as a returner, but I don't want to see him buried at returner. I think that, and it sounds like we're going to see a lot of like 3-4 receiver formations this year too. At least in the first like week or so of OTAs, people were saying that like Davis was running less 2 tight end, more like 3 receiver stuff, trying to get more receivers outside. You got the receiver core to do it. You got guys that can run for days on that in that wide receiver room. Just alone, like you got 3 really good, fast guys. Pat's fast too, but I like to think of Pat as more of like a possession receiver that just does everything. Troy has some solid speed to himself too, so I just love the speed that you have with Troy, with Marvin, and with with Waddle. I like the idea of running the hell out of these opposing DBs, and by the end of the second half, these DBs are just gassed. You got the depth to replace these guys and let your guys get the breath. I can't necessarily guarantee you that other teams have the DBs to get that kind of rest. Because you can't rotate DBs like you rotate wide receivers, guys. If you start rotating DBs and if they could go 3-4 wide, I love the matchups. No matter who it is at wide receiver, if they go 3-4 wide, I love that matchup. Yeah, and I think that Davis, part of seeing Sean give up play calling is probably because Sean might have at least second guessed himself towards the end, or knows that there was times when he put the team in bad decisions or bad spots because of his bad decisions. So I do think that you got Sean. It was selfless to give up play calling, and I think that Davis is going to be ahead of that or on top of that. And yes, guys, I'm abnormally high on a first-time play caller, and it's just because most first-time play callers do not get to have a resource like a guy like Sean Payton in his bag. That's a hell of a resource, and again, it's going to be a similar offense, just with Davis Webb tweaks, and I'm excited to see what those tweaks are, especially when you have a guy like Waddle. I want to see how that factors in and how the offense changes out. Yeah, Cornbreadimus, thank you again for popping in, man. You're awesome. You're a Broncos media consuming legend. Just seeing you in all these chats and from them, I'm waiting for. I know in your in the chats tonight you were telling Mike you sent him something. I want Mike to send you something. What is Mike gonna send you? Maybe you should ask for one of his set pieces. There's probably a set piece on there that he'll let you have. Yeah, if they burn the top of the defense off, with Mims and Waddle on the edges, that's Candyland for the tight ends and the running backs. Absolutely. Especially just a Candyland for R.J. Harvey and Evan Ingram. And I'm really excited for R.J. I think R.J. is going to go off this year. He needs to be permanent RB2 while you do your best to rotate J.K. and Jonah. Even if that means one drive it's J.K. and R.J. and another drive it's Jonah and R.J. and another drive it's J.K. and R.J. However you need to. I want to see the load management that you see in the NBA. I want to see that kind of a concept tested out on J.K. I want to see load management with J.K. But just excited to see because and all 3 of our backs, J.K., R.J. and Jonah, all 3 of them can catch out the backfield. It's just RJ, that's going to be his specialty. He's the dual threat. He is and I already said it earlier, I'd love to see I want to see the RJ Harvey, passing touchdown. That's what I want to see because of his quarterback history from college. But I really want to see these backs and edges eat, just like you said, and here's the thing, when you talk about what you said there, with, Mims burning the defenses up top and Waddle on the edges, who's to say that that doesn't mean you can throw Cortland in the slot? Throw Cortland in the slot on a linebacker. I would love to see Cortland on a linebacker. Cortland has so many opportunities. What's your Mendoza bet? I want to know what your guys' bet is. What are you guys betting about with Mendoza? If it's when he's going to start, I'm getting in on week 12, week 13. Okay, week 13. I'm getting in at week 13. Oh, week 12 or 13? Because I kind of picked a little late on there. I'm going 13. I think 13's fair. I could see it as late as like 14 or 15. But I could see it as early as like week 4, honestly. It all depends. Raider fans, man, they'll clamor and demand for anything. Oh, day 1. Wow. No, that's a great take. I think Kirk's getting the start. I think Cousins definitely getting the start. But hey, if he gets the start, so as a Vegas local, I think that if Cousins gets the start, Vegas fans are. I mean, they always show up at that. So it's like a Broncos home game whenever Denver plays there. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're saying he's going day 1. When it comes to this stadium, Raider fans have so little enthusiasm. Like the opposing fan base can just rule and dictate that stadium, and I do think that if week 1, no matter what, Raider fans show up for week 1, but I think that with Cousins starting, they don't show up for many of those games. So maybe you have a good point there that maybe he starts week 1. I mean, for business-wise, it's in the Raiders' best interest to start him. Coaching-wise, I would love to see him sit at least for a few games. I think. Yeah, no. If it's going to be Cousins week 1, they'll show up for week 1, like kickoff, the game of the year. They always do that, but then it drops off significantly, and it won't pick up. There won't be Raider fans in those seats unless Mendoza shows up and is actually starting. But like I said, in my opinion, I see Cousins getting the start, but I see Mendoza taking over as early as week 4 or as late as like 13, 14, probably 13. But it all depends. I mean, he was number 1 pick for a reason. You want him to start, so if anything, week 1 makes sense. Why not just throw him out there and make him learn on the spot? That's probably the best bet for development, honestly. Letting him sit behind Cousins, you got a good point. If anything, Cornbreadimus, you should be coaching the Raiders. I think if you were coaching the Raiders, they would be doing much better. Let's see. What do you mean by that? Sorry, Cornbreadimus. Bonix 12th starts day 1, and then Mendoza 1 starts week 4 or 5? Question mark. Maybe just clarify it for me so I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't think that the Raider fans will show up for Cousins either. So, I mean, even if they do put if Mendoza goes out there, that's the best way to fill seats and definitely to probably make him learn is just force him out there and, let Kirk, play stepdad and sit on the bench. Sorry, guys, we got a cat. She's talking. Come here. All right, guys. We got a cat. Yeah. So Bo was the 12th pick. Great point. Bo also did start week 1 too, though. So I've always been. We'll let her talk for a second. I've always been pro making the rookie start and let him just learn, right out the get-go, and no matter how hard it is. It seemed like that was a trend a few years ago to just let guys sit back and develop. And now I feel like the trend is definitely throw these guys in and let them learn on the spot. And it seemed like Clint Kubiak led us on to believe maybe that they're going to maybe let Cousins start and hold on. I still think Cousins starts, but I do think that Mendoza probably takes over earlier than I even think. But if they are smart, it's in their best interest to get him out there. Am I worried about the Raiders this year? No, I think we are sweeping the Raiders. I think we're sweeping the Chiefs too. I think you're getting a split with the Chargers, and you're losing 2 back-to-back games like you did last year, though. And I think it's the Chargers and the 49ers games. Yeah, no, if he's good, let him cook. I got a lot of respect for Mendoza. He's a great person, kind person, kind of dorky, but he's a good guy. He's coming off like a real leader. I know that he's already earning the respect of the fan base out here, the Raider fans. I'm not a Raider fan, obviously, but I know that he's earning their respect. Let's see. It is 4:17 in the morning, guys, Mountain Time. So thank you for popping in. Thank you for showing up, Cornbreadimus. Thank you for showing up. To my mother. Thank you to the cats for showing up. Huxley, here. Oh, guys, she is nudging the mic. She is really excited. She loves that we are talking about, a sweep of the Chiefs and a sweep of the Raiders. She loves that topic of discussion. Yeah, if anyone has not noticed by now, I'm a big cat guy. This is my son, Apollo Creed William Chapa. Since we're talking about Raiders right now, named after my favorite Raider, Carl Weathers. My favorite Raider of all time. I don't have many of those, of course. Maybe Bill Romanowski's on that list, but I don't have many. Oh, my bad. Mike Shanahan, another one of my favorite Raiders, of course. But no, definitely a big fan of Carl Weathers. So that's my son. And then the sweet lady that was on my lap, that's Huxley. Sweet old lady. She's this sweet lady, just loves to talk sports. No, that's the thing that worries about me, is that the Raiders may have found their guy. Hopefully it's not in the next few years, though, because of the fact that, he presents like a leader, like a legit leader. He looks the part of what a franchise quarterback is. He is what you want. If the Raiders knocked it out of the park, they actually didn't mess up the pick, which is surprising. I'm surprised they didn't find a way to mess it up and trade for, or like trade back a few picks and draft a D lineman that's supposed to go in the 3rd round. So I'm glad that they didn't mess that up. But no, he has a lot of potential. He's scary. As a Bronco fan, I'm glad that at least it's his rookie year. But these next few years after, there's some fear with what they may develop there. I'm still not high on Genty. I don't know if Genty's. I think at this point, if Genty hasn't really gone off yet, maybe it's not there for him. But I mean, he's still productive. I just think that maybe they could try to do more to that room, get a second back that complements him. Maybe they already have that, but I would love to see more around him. They don't have no running backs. I mean, wide receivers though. I mean, you got one of the best tight ends in the game, and that's the thing. I think he's going to utilize the hell out of Brock Bowers. He's going to know how to use him. Yeah, no. They're going to launch Mendoza, and Mike will be eating cornbread. Oh, man. Did you send him cornbread? That would be hilarious. That would be a great thing to send him. Oh, yeah, Mike Washington. No, I forgot about him. See, I like the upside right there with Washington over Genty. A lot of Broncos fans had their eyes on Washington in the pre-draft process. See, I have not paid as much attention to AFC West as much as I should have this offseason. I do my best to keep up with some of the headlines, but I did not pay attention to every single player that got drafted by the AFC West. I was really trying to do my best to lock in on the Broncos. But I took a redshirt year this year because I did 0 mock drafts. I did 0 draft predictions. All I did is a few posts on who I think would be cool to have or what would be nice, but never once did I do a mock draft or anything like that. I took a redshirt year on the whole draft and the college football stuff. This year, I'm really trying to lock in on the college football game. So maybe next year, I can really lock in on the draft prep and stuff. Maybe do a mock draft. But I've never been a fan of I understand mock drafts, but I've just never been a fan on it because in the end, you end up with a million mock drafts that were all speculation and. Sometimes there's some accuracy to them, but sometimes there's not. I'm a big wait and see person and react after kind of person. So sometimes I don't even know if I'll do a mock draft next year, maybe the year after. But some of that stuff takes a lot of prep. But there's some great resources out there too that I was able to use to try to learn more about some of these draft prospects. A lot of draft guides that were covered 500, 600 players. So a lot of those came in handy with learning some of these names. But I forgot about Mike Washington the minute that they drafted Jonah Coleman. I forgot about him. Yeah, we could have. That's cool. At that point, if you would have drafted both of them, would you have been wanting to just move on from JK on the spot? I may be a little higher on JK than a few people, and I totally understand the caution behind it. Not trusting, the injury history, perfectly reasonable and understandable. But yeah, no, great take, saying that we could have drafted Coleman at 82 and then, Washington at 108. I would have loved to have them both. I just kind of forgot that he even existed once we took Coleman because I loved Coleman more. I liked Coleman a little bit more, but both of them, in my opinion, and were perfect choices at 82 if it happened. But to think about the possibility that we could have had both, I am at the point in my life where I don't know if it's good luck or bad luck to go back to back in certain drafts. After the whole Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler thing, and neither of them working out, I have this little conspiracy that maybe you should just don't draft the same position back to back. Put a gap in there. Whether if you want to draft 2 corners or 2 wide receivers, that's fine. Just draft someone in between. Oh, yeah. No, that's a running back room that, you want to walk down a dark alley with because, no one's beating that. No, that's a great running back room if it could have happened. Speculation can be fun. It's cool to just imagine how that would have looked. So, it's a great discussion. We are pushing almost 2.5 hours live, guys. Almost 4:30 in the morning. So we're probably going to hop out of here soon. I'm getting better at these scripts, guys. We did talk the Cooper stuff. We did have Q&A here. This is our script. Probably can't see much on there. There's some writing. See, you can see there's writing. Bad writing. Bad enough writing to probably write you a prescription, guys, but I'm not a doctor. We are going to keep practicing our scripts and stuff. I'm going to keep doing them all on paper. Down the line, I'm turning this screen onto my teleprompter. That might help me keep on topic with my monologues, because in the future I want to start the show with 5-minute monologues, get some jokes out and stuff like that. Try to write some comedy jokes because I've always loved that side of late night, and I want to write my first monologue for maybe not episode 10, which will be the next episode, but maybe one of our next few episodes in the future. We'll try to get that. Yeah, man. I don't even want to imagine. Like, frankly, I know that Mike Washington is not J.K. is not Washington, but you still have a great deep room, Cornbreadimus, and J.K. and Coleman and Waddle. I love and J.K. Coleman and Harvey. I love that rotation, and then I love that rotation of Waddle Mims or Waddle Court. I think all these guys, all these rooms bounce off each other, or they all are unique fits, and I think that they really fit in together really well. I'm excited to see how they pair up well and how these things go. We're leading up, and we're just waiting for training camp to get here. I know it's OTA season, but OTAs aren't as fun as training camp. Yeah, man, that would be an embarrassment of riches. That would be crazy. I do think that you're going to see some load management with with JK, though. You can load manage JK and feed Jonah a little early. I don't mind feeding Jonah early and still keeping RJ in. Let's see. No, dual backs are great. I've always been a fan of the two guys in the backfield, type formations. Whether it's a fullback and a running back, or you two running backs, or if you get a running back and a shifty receiver, whether it's Waddle or Mims. Just imagine you got RJ in the backfield, and then you decide to pull Mims into the backfield next to RJ, and you still have Waddle out there and Court out there. Gosh, man, this is my point. Is there's some great matchups. There's gonna be a great matchup no matter what on this offense for most of these plays. It's just you got to have the coordinator and the QB to take advantage, and I think that. We're going to see this team really take advantage of people. I know that we had a problem last year with, short, close games, guys, that could have gone either way, that were one-score games. I think you're going to see a team that does not need to be in one-score games anymore. You're going to see a team that can put two scores in between you and then cruise to a win. I think you're going to see a team. There's going to be one or two games this year that'll probably get to us. We're not going to win them all. I have us losing one more game this year than we had last year, but I do think that I definitely think that there's some sorry guys, I'm losing my train of thought. I definitely think that there's some stuff there to be excited about. I lost my train of thought, but I think that I'm pretty excited with everything going on with this depth on all across this team. All across the board. I'm excited. All right, guys. That's probably a good time for me to get out the show when I forget what I'm talking about. So we're going to call it quits. Thank you, everyone, for popping in, man. Thank you, Cornbread. You are the man. Much love to the chat for showing up. You guys make this possible. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to make this possible. So thank you. You guys make it awesome and make this so dang fun. I look forward to talking to every person who shows up on here. No, backup quarterback, and then maybe a little bit more use from, Mims sounds good. A little backup quarterback action that's more productive, or at least one that you truly think can help you win or push you over the edge. That's what you want. And then, yes, I agree. I want to see Mims get used to. I'm excited for these backups and for some of these formations, these matchups. Because they're a backup, a lot of these backups are starters on other teams, guys. I think that's why you're going to be able to cook a lot of these teams. You're going to use that home field advantage, to your benefit, whether it's at running back or wide receiver. The rotations are going to be deep, and they're going to be fast, and they're all going to be ready to go and fresh every time you rotate. So I'm just excited. All right, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you, everyone who popped in, asked some questions. Feel free to drop some comments after the fact. If you're listening in after the fact, let me know how you felt about, the Jonathan Cooper thing, how you felt about the Henry Cooper, the Henry Ruggs, not getting paroled. Let me know how you feel about Davis Webb talking, to the media for the first time. We learned a lot from that discussion. And also, Sean Payton, did you agree with the signing? I'm pretty excited for the signing. You have your GM and your head coach locked up till 2030, guys. That's a lot to be excited about. Your GM and your coach have continued to get you a deep, deep roster to where instead of having, conversations about who is going to make the team, you're having conversations about, who's going to be your third, fourth, fifth at any of this, when a lot of them are starters on other teams. So you get such a deep roster that you're worried about who your third, fourth, fifth, or whatever this is at some of these positions, and it's not even much of a worry because they're easily 2s or 3s on other teams. So you got a deep team, and yet you got the coach to lead the way. And no matter what happens in the future with Davis or Vance, you got a head coach right now that really cares and knows how to build a championship roster, team, coaching staff. So the team's in great hands no matter what. But let me know what you think in the comments about all of those talking points, guys. There's a lot there. Let me know what you thought about the running back room as well. The final thing right there, running back room. How many running backs you have making the team, who ends up maybe not making the team and ending up on the practice squad. How would you like to see that rotation go? Again, guys, my name's Cody Chapa with Webb Sports. We are just trying to normalize the idea of talking late night sports, and thank you for showing up. We'll be back for a Monday stream. Maybe we'll pop on during the weekend. We'll see. But we'll be back on Monday for sure. So if anything changes before then, you guys will know. Thank you, guys. See ya.